In this video, I'm going to show you how to add a deadline to your form and add some reminders and notifications. To do that, you want to select the form that you've built, and in our case, it's in Forms, and it's called Images. If you saw the first video, this should be familiar to you. So you want to add some reminders and some notifications. So if you select Workflow from the top menu here, you'll see these three headings here: Deadline, Integrations, and Notifications. I'm only going to talk about deadline and notifications today. To find the reminders, they're actually inside deadline, and they won't appear until you select Configure and create a deadline. So I'm going to specify a deadline. We'll say midnight, about a week from now. And then this is where your reminders will show up. The difference between a reminder and a notification is a reminder is a message that will be sent out to the users that are meant to complete the form, to remind them to complete it. A notification is something that will be sent out to either the form owner or to someone else to tell you what the students are entering in their forms as they're being completed. So reminders are for the students themselves, and notifications are for the form owners. So with that in mind, I'm going to add two reminders for this form. I'm going to add one the day after it goes out to say, have you seen how to look at your form? Can you please complete it? And then probably one halfway through that says, you've not completed the form, please complete it. So the first one I'm going to add, we'll say midnight tomorrow. I'll send it to all, because this is the first reminder, I'm going to select all users, and I'm going to create a custom message. Now you don't have to add a greeting or a sign-off because the eForms system does that for you. It will address the student directly, and you can see that by selecting this little eyeball icon here. So obviously Joe Blogs, this will change to whatever the student's name is that this is sent to, and then it will tell you, it actually has a default reminder that says this is a reminder to complete the images form, which is a deadline of midnight on the 30th of November 2015. Regards, Form Squared support. Now if you want to change that, you can. So if you put anything in this message here, it will replace that main message with whatever you put into the custom message field. Delete it again, and it will come back up again. Okay, so that will do for the first one. I'm just going to leave it as the default. I'm going to add a second reminder. I'm going to do this near the end of the form, so they've got 2 days left. And this time, I'm only going to send it to the users without a submission, so that I'm not spamming everybody. And I'm going to put a custom message that says, there are only 2 days left. Please complete the form now. Sorry, the images form now. If you look here, it will have that message. Okay, so if you select Save, sorry, we need to untick the custom message, because if you keep it ticked, anytime there's a red rectangle, it won't let you save. So untick custom message, and then you'll see that it's still the default message, and then select Save. So that's a couple of reminders that have been set. You've got a deadline and reminders that are telling the users to complete the form. Now we're going to do some notifications for the form owners to tell them, to give them a heads up when a student answers a form a certain way. So if you select Notifications, Add Notification, and there's a number of different recipients here. I'm going to, first of all, the first thing you need to do is specify a condition. So in this case, this is whenever a student answers a question a certain way, it will notify the form owner. And I'll show you what I mean. In fact, let's just go back to the form for a minute. Go to Fields. So say you want to be notified every time a student answers, what color is Mrs. Goff's uniform? Is black. So what we'll do is have a look at what that is called, so it's question 4. So go back to your workflow, to your notifications, add notification, specify a condition. So whenever the student answers question 4, and we'll say has the value black, select OK, you will get a notification. Now, you've got different recipients here. You can actually notify the submission owner if you want. So that's the student. If you want the student to get a message saying, you know, have you got color blindness? Please see me. You can do that. Or you can notify yourself. If one of the form fields is an email address, so say question 1 wasn't a question at all, but it was just said, please enter your email address, you can actually send an email to whatever the email address is inside the form that the user has submitted. So say, for instance, it says, what's your supervisor's email address? And they put that in there. Then you can send this to their supervisor. I'm not going to do that. And you can also send it to up to 10 custom email addresses here, if you like. The most common is going to be you. You want a message every time this question has been answered this certain way. And you can specify your message here. And then you can add an attachment. Or you can add this message as an attachment if you like. I'm just going to select save. And there you go. It tells you what the conditions are.